This week, a returning guest to the show. Looking forward to a good little championship discussion. We are joined by two-time Truck Series, Craftsman Truck Series champion, Todd Bodine. Todd, welcome back to the show. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. How you guys been?
We are good. Can't complain. Championship weekend in the rear view. You've got a new counterpart who is a two-time Truck Series champion. Let's jump right into things. On the truck side of things, thoughts on the race from Friday night at Phoenix?
Oh boy, it's a pretty bad race. You know, it's the one thing you have to realize when you're watching the Truck Series and you're watching these young men race is, they're very inexperienced. You know, it's where these guys and gals come to gain experience and try to be able to move up to the next series in the Xfinity or even the Cup Series. But their inexperience really, I guess, allows them to get in trouble. And we saw that Friday night. A lot of guys driving not really over their head, but just not thinking. And unfortunately, it really tainted the evening. It's not what we expect out of the Truck Series. And, it's not always that bad, but Friday night was pretty bad. But I will say that, Ben Rhodes was the one guy that didn't get in trouble. That's Ben. That's how he drives. He's very smart, very calculating, and he did a great job. Him and his crew chief, Rich Lucius, they're both very good friends of mine, and I know how hard they've worked to get there. Ben struggled this year. Rich was actually with Haley Deegan all year long, and she didn't make the playoffs, so Duke Thorson decided, hey, let's put Ben and Rich back together. They won the championship before, and let's just give them a shot at it. And boy, sure enough, it worked. Rich did a great job. Came in there a 7th and 2 seconds in the last round, and then went out and won the championship. So good for them. And yeah, you're right. He joined the multiple champions club with us, and he's very deserving of it.
So I said it before we had you join us at the beginning of the show. Ben kind of quietly had a just subtly quiet, calm, cool, and collective season this year, and pounced at the right time. Am I a little off on that, or what are your thoughts on Ben's season overall?
Well, it was actually not very good of a season. For Ben, we expect a multiple win season, and they got the one win. He started the season with Jared Prince as a crew chief, and they won Charlotte. And the next week, he goes to the racetrack with a different crew chief, Brian Ross, and Brian's there. And like I said, they brought Rich in to clean it up, but it was very up and down. They didn't have lightning speed all year. They were pretty much a 10th to 5th place truck. And we kind of expect more out of Ben, and that's really why they brought Rich back over there. And they're going to be together next year for sure. But it was a quiet year. Yeah, he didn't light the world on fire, but like I said, Rich came in there and they got a 7th and 2 seconds in the last round, and really came to life. And it takes the whole group to get it together, and Rich brought it all together.
So, talking about the crew chiefs for a second, Todd, like how is it that, because all these crew chiefs are probably all really good, but some of them bond better with other drivers than others, and how is it that how does that happen? You would think they'd all have, if they're working for the same teams, they all know the setup they want to run. But why is one guy just a little better? Is it strategy and planning, or is it just more the teamwork and the relationship with the driver that makes the difference?
Well, in today's world, you show up at the racetrack with a setup in the truck, and you get 15 minutes of practice, and then you qualify. So what you show up with is pretty much what you're going to race. Okay, so that part is a given. And where the difference comes in is during the race and the communication between the driver and crew chief, how much they understand each other, or how much the crew chief understands the driver and what the driver needs. And that relationship, is very important. It's just like it always has been. And, for Rich and Ben, they were together for 2 full seasons, finished second in the points and won the point championship. So they've gotten along well. They understand each other, and that's where the difference comes in. We talk about that all the time, the driver-crew chief relationship and communication, and it really can't be stressed enough of how important it is.
Todd, when talking about the culture of the Truck Series, I mean, for a majority of its history is riddled with veterans like yourself, Mike Skinner, Johnny Benson, Ted Musgrave, you name it. And now the majority of the field is a bunch of younger kids trying to get that opportunity to go up another level. Do you think the culture has changed to allow maybe a more sloppy race with people that maybe won't set you straight every once in a while? Or do you think the Truck Series is doing well for what its purpose is?
Well, I really think it's doing well. The racing is fantastic. These, first of all, the trucks themselves are closer competitive-wise than they've ever been. Everybody has the same motor, the Ilmore motor. Everybody's on the same tires. Everybody has a good body. All the chassis are close to the same. The components are all the same. So the equipment is very, very level playing field. So then you bring these young drivers in, and that's where the difference is. And, today's culture and today's world, young people in general just don't have the respect that we old guys, I guess you could say, what we were brought up with and what we had racing. And that's one thing. But I think that the other thing is when you had the Skinners and Hornadays and all the old guys that were raced, we were at the end of our careers, right? We had all been in the Cup Series. We'd all been in the Busch Series. We made our names in Cup, and we were on the backside of our career, and we came to the Truck Series to race and have fun and enjoy ourselves. So to us, it wasn't a make-or-break situation. These young guys coming in today to get into the Truck Series, they're auditioning. This is their first shot into the business, and they think they got to go out there and just light the world on fire every lap. And they don't have to do that. That's not what it's about. But that, as a young person, you're full of that vigor that you got to go. And I actually did an interview earlier today where I used Corey Heim as the example. I wish these kids would watch what he did this year and look at it. He, from the first race at Daytona to the last race, he was spot on in his driving, and he never made mistakes. He backed out of bad situations. He didn't run into people, and he took what it could give him. And when he missed that race at St. Louis, from that point on, he had 15 top 10s in a row. That's phenomenal to be able to do that. So, some of these kids understand that, and some of them they got to go through this learning phase and figure that out.
Jumping over from the trucks to the Xfinity series, a guy, young guy like Cole Custer, who was in the Cup Series for a couple of years, bounced back to Xfinity to kind of prove himself again, ends up going, and not only has Cole really come out of his shell over the years, but now he's a champion. Talk to us a little bit about your thoughts from Saturday's Xfinity Series championship race and Cole Custer being a champion.
Yeah, I was fortunate to get to know Cole a little bit when he was in the Truck Series. You're right. Back then he was this shy kid that just wanted to go out and race and have fun, and he really didn't talk to many people, and he kept to himself. And me and my wife kind of befriended him a little bit, and he is a really, really good kid, and he has come out of the shell for sure. And when you make it to the show, right? You make it to the major leagues, and you you think you're all that, and you're there, and you're racing with the big dogs, and you get put back to the AAA farm team. It's pretty humbling. You know, you made it to the show and you didn't make it. You couldn't stay there. Well, Cole took that as a very much of a learning experience, and he was never bitter about it. He understood what had to be done, and that was his place. And he went out this year and just did a super job. And, you know, every week, and I also think the experience he gained in the Cup Series just paid big dividends. You know, it's a different world in Cup, and it's hard. And he took all that experience and applied it and did a great job all year. So hats off to him and everybody over at Stewart Haas doing what they were supposed to do. And I was very happy to see that. But the race itself at Phoenix, what a race, man. It was incredible to see those guys there, the 4 playoff, to chase, you know, the guys running for the championship right there at the end all together, racing hard and racing clean. And, you know, same thing on Sunday. You know, those 3 guys raced clean at the end of that race, raced for the win, and, you know, best man won. So I hope these truckers were watching that and understand it. Everybody on TV and the radio has been talking about it and hoping they learn their lesson.
Todd, we can't go away without asking, you're a champion. So what does winning a championship mean to you? You've won it twice. Ben Rhodes now twice. Cole Custer, Ryan Blaney got 1. What does being a champion mean to Todd Bodine?
Oh, boy. Well, you know, it not only means that you're the best that year, it's gratifying because you work your whole life. You work for that pinnacle, for that moment in time, and it is so hard to get there and to do it. And when it finally happens, it's like, you know, the weight is lifted off your shoulders and you can breathe again. And, you know, with this playoff format, it's even, to me, it's even more difficult because you have 3 races at a time that you have to be mistake free to get to that next round. And then you got 3 races to get to the final championship 4. So it's so hard to be mistake free. You know, if you, in the old point system, you could have a bad race here and there and you could make up for it. You know, you had time, you could do something about it. And today's format, you can't. So it's just very gratifying. You know, for me, the first one to win that, it was like, okay, we did this. And then the second one was like, you know, redemption or not redemption, but it was okay, we did it once, we did it again, we deserved the first one, you know. So everybody has different feelings and they look at it differently, but no matter how you look at it, it's just very gratifying.
Won't let you get out of here without touching on Sunday's Cup Series championship race and Ryan Blaney becoming a champion. Thoughts on Sunday, of course, before we let you go.
Yeah, well, you know, there again, I've known Ryan since he was a kid, running around the motorhome lot. And actually, as an adult, you know, 18, 19, we got to spend a little time together, and he's just a really good kid, and he's turned into a heck of a race car driver. So it was for me, that day was very fitting for him to be second in the race and to win the championship. And, you know, Ross Chastain won the race. I've known Ross since he's 12 years old. We've been friends the whole time. So I had a really good day on Sunday.
Excellent. I wish the Patriots were a little bit better, but, you know, if you make your way up to Foxborough, give us a ring and we'll have a good time at a tailgate. At least that's the best thing going for the Pats right now. But
yeah, it's been a struggle. There's no doubt about it. But, you know, you just got to look at it. Okay, we're just going to build. We're going to keep building the team, try to get better every week, and you know, that's all you can hope for.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure to talk to you. 2-time Craftsman Truck Series champion and a somewhat semi-resident of the Metro West here in Mass, Franklin area for a little bit of time. Todd Bodine joining us here. Todd, we'll probably try to have you back on close to 2024 season and touch a little bit about the upcoming season then. So always a pleasure, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, buddy. Anytime. You guys have a great holiday.
You
Thank
too.
Thank you.